Now that we've got all of our numbers in place, I want to go ahead and do some of that conditional formatting. You'll remember from our exercise, from our sample, we've got this conditional formatting showing up in the cells here and unit cost total, and then we've got some conditional formatting down here. So that just at a quick glance, we can tell what's going on. And basically, I've set this value because I want to make sure that in the month of November, I make at least $10,000 or I'm in trouble. Plus, I'd really like to make 12. If I make 12,000, that's a good month. So I've got it formatted in a very special way, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The formatting for, let's widen this up a little bit, the formatting for the columns here, I'll just select all of those, and again, I want to get just something nice and visual so that I can tell at a glance what I'm selling the most. This is called a conditional format. So we go to conditional formatting. Notice that pretty much everything that we've been doing so far is on this home tab. Okay, again, that's because Microsoft did their homework on this. They arranged things in such a way that what you really use frequently is right there on the home tab. So we click conditional formatting, and you can see that we've got a number of samples that show up, things that we can do with the formatting. Let's go ahead and click it. What I want is called a data bar, and you can basically click and select the colors that you want. Let's go with orange in this case. So we select that, and this is just something that happens very automatic. If I enter a value here of 2,000, you will notice that it is now in close competition with this other cell down here. If we take it down to 214, it now drops down. So that's something that's very dynamic, and now it allows me to just at a glance, I can go, let's see, oh, what is this? This is selling a lot. Oh, this is not selling a lot. We need to get on marketing for that. Okay, so at a glance, I can see some really helpful information. So again, we click and drag to select the cells that we want to format. Go to conditional formatting, data bars. Let's make this one blue, and we'll take total, and we'll make this one green. Okay, so I can say, hey, this one right here, this is my money ticket right here. I'm making a lot off of that one. And that's basically how this type of formatting works, but it gets a little bit trickier than that. Let's take a look at the net profit. And again, what I determined that I wanted to do is I need to make sure that my net profit every month is at least $10,000 because I got a Mercedes-Benz, I got a swimming pool, I got 2 acres that need to get mowed. I got a lot of expenses. So I need to make sure that I make $10,000 a month. And I'd really like to make $12,000. And what I want is a visual feedback that whenever I open this sales report up, I can see right away without looking at the value. I can just tell if I'm doing okay or not. So here's how we're going to do this one. We're going to select the cell, go up to conditional formatting, and we're going to go to highlight cells rules. There are a number of rules that are in here. These are the more popular ones. The first thing I'm going to put in is if the value is less than 10,000, then heads are going to roll, and I want to know right now. So I'm going to go to less than. I'll select that. And I'll put in, right now it defaults to the value that's already there. I'm going to put in 10,000. And we'll go ahead and go with light red fill with dark red text. That's fine. There's a number of things that we can choose from. And of course, you can do your own custom format if you want. So light red fill. Now here's what's going to happen. Let's take this one right here and drop it down to 0. And we're going to have to go a little bit farther. This one right here, we'll take this one to 0. And we're almost there. 0. Okay, whoa, here's what happens. It turns red because it's less than 10,000. So if we make this like, let's do 50. Oh, we're going to have to do more than that. 200. Getting real close. 300. And 400. Almost there. 500. And we're over. And now it's not formatted red anymore. Okay? But if we drop back down, it'll turn red again. Now, the next thing that we want to do is if it's over 12,000, then we're going to throw a party. So we want to know that really quick. So we do, again, select the same cell, because you can do multiple rules of conditional formatting on the same cell. Conditional formatting, highlight cells greater than, and in this case, we can do 12,000, and I want to make it green. So a green fill and green text. So now if we get things back up to where they're supposed to be, aha, it gets formatted green for us. Okay, so dependent on the value. Now, there are tons of other conditions that we can choose from, and if I click more rules, you're going to see that there's a lot of customization and things that you can do to get it just really how you'd like it to be. So that's something you can play with kind of on your own, but now you know that it's there and you got at least the basics of it. Let's go ahead and do another one because, again, repetition really helps us out. Let's say that I really want to know that my sales commissions was over $4,000 because I've got one salesman, and if he doesn't make $4,000, he's not going to be happy. So I need to know that. So let's do some conditional formatting, and we'll highlight again. If it's less than $4,000, then we'll go ahead and use, let's do a custom format. The font, I don't really care about. The border, I don't care about that either. Let's go to fill. In this case, I want to make it blue, and I might have to make it a little bit lighter just to make sure we can see it real good. So we do OK and OK again. Now, if we drop any of these down, notice right away if his commission goes below 4,000, it turns blue. Okay, so let's get that back in there, and there we go. Whoops, he made way too much money this month. Let's go ahead and leave it at that. Now, here's what I want you to do. We're going to go ahead for the time being. We're going to leave this spreadsheet as it is. Okay, but I want to do two things first. I want to double click on sheet 1 down here at the bottom, and I'm going to call this NOV for November. Hit the enter key, and then we're going to click save. And then I want you to do the same thing. Do all this formatting, rename sheet 1 to NOV, and then save it. And we're going to go ahead and start on another sheet in the next exercise, and we're going to learn some more functions.